But then the people of Gaza have always been under attack. The Israelis, as usual, claim that their attack is in retaliation of the rocket attacks by Hamas from Gaza. Well, Israel always forgets what it has done, what it has been doing, and what it proposes to do to the people in Gaza and in Palestine. It has continuously attacked Gaza. It had invaded Gaza, destroyed all the houses and buildings, schools and hospitals. And when it withdrew under pressure, so-called pressure from the world order, it never ceased to carry out a blockade of Gaza. Gaza is prevented from getting any form of aid because of this Israeli illegal blockade. We ourselves have experienced this blockade. When we send ships to bring aid material to Gaza, the ships were stopped in international waters. Now, international waters is not for people to carry out piracy or military action. But Israel breaks laws all the time. This is the most lawless country ever seen in the history of this world. It breaks every law. It carries out assassination. And when ships bringing supplies to Gaza tries to reach Gaza, Israel mounted a military attack on the ships. And as we all know, the enemy Mara, which is owned by the Turks, was attacked. And 8 workers, these are not soldiers, these are 8 workers, unarmed 8 workers, were shot to death by the Israelis. Israel should have regretted this, but no. Israel claimed that it is justified in killing 8 workers. And the Israeli court decided that Israel was only securing its security, only looking after its security. But Israeli security is based on insecurity for everybody else. All the countries around Israel are insecure simply because Israel believes it has the right to attack at any time, preemptive attacks. It has bombed and rocketed other countries not involved directly in the war. Recently, it attacked Sudan, alleging that Sudan was supplying arms to Hamas. But then Israel itself is a recipient of arms, more sophisticated arms from the US and from Europe. These arms are meant to threaten, to undermine the security of the people in the surrounding countries. Deprived of food, deprived of medicine, or even building materials. What are the Gazans going to do? Nobody will help them. Not even the Muslim countries. The Gazans are left to defend themselves. And it is because of these inhuman acts by Israel in conducting an illegal blockade in killing 8 workers that prompted the Gazans to fire rockets at Israel. Of course, the media, which is owned by Israelis and their cohorts, showed only the rockets being fired from Gaza. But what about the bombings? The rockets aimed and dropped in Gaza. Today we are told more than 100 people have been killed. These are not soldiers. These are not combatants. These are civilians. Young, old, babies, everybody is killed so as to secure Israel. That in doing so they undermine the security of the people in Hamas. That is of no concern for Israel. And indeed it is of no concern for the supporters, the suppliers of arms, the suppliers of rockets and bombs to Israel. The world really is in a sad state because this one country has broken every international law, has shown total disregard of moral values for the lives of people, the lives of innocent people. And this country has got away with it because it is backed by its satellite, the most powerful nation in the world. I shall not name this nation because it is so powerful that you cannot accuse it of anything, including disregarding the United Nations. We live in a lawless world in which the very people who assume the role of policemen for this world actually supports crimes and actually commits crimes. This is the kind of world we are living in. For those people in the Middle East, they are more threatened than anybody else. But that does not mean that those who are far away will not be threatened. Malaysia is threatened. We have nothing against Iran. We are not at war with Iran. But we are forced to apply sanctions on Iran. We are forced by threats that if we have anything to do with Iran, then action will be taken to stop our trade, to stop the financing of our trade. And what happens in Malaysia also happens to other peaceful countries. We have no grounds, we have nothing against Iran, but we are forced to apply sanctions which is illegal. It's illegal because it's not approved by, it's not sanctioned by the United Nations. But we find that not only Israel is a lawless nation, but its supporters who preach to us the rule of law, who preach to us about human rights, about the sanctity of life. These people are the very people who are preaching the rule of law, the freedom of people, the sanctity of life. So we have to do something about it. Yes, we are very weak. We cannot raise a military force to fight against this powerful nation, this once glorious nation. One has to remember that this nation came into being through genocide of the Red Indians. They killed all the Red Indians. And they lived by So they may threaten people. Of course, the whole nation spends trillions of dollars. Unfortunately, these trillions of dollars come from countries which buy bonds from us. These trillions of dollars are spent even in a situation where the economy is bad, is spent on building, inventing new and fiendish ways of killing people. And this country dares to go around telling us that we must live by the rule of law. We must respect human rights. Malaysia, it seems, is not democratic. But is this country democratic? Actually, this country makes decisions based on the opinions and the interests of a minority. But as you have heard yesterday, there are doubts about who in fact brought down the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York. I don't think anybody can believe that the Arabs, the Muslim terrorists did this. It is far too complex for the Muslim terrorists. But you see yesterday how the buildings were brought down in a very systematic way, coming down nicely in its place. And you hear witnesses saying how the bombs exploded one by one, boom, 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 boom. That is not caused by the planes which crashed into these buildings. And in any case, the third building was brought down in the same way. And the third building was not hit by any aircraft. Somebody planned this. Somebody wanted what they call a Pearl Harbor, an excuse for killing people. And they got their excuse. Of course, there was also this attack using anthrax. The so-called very stupid people are using very sophisticated weapons of mass destruction in the form of anthrax to kill people. So the hatred is built up against Muslims. People like me must be a terrorist, because now I will have to have my shoes examined to see whether there are bombs or not. Well, they will pay a high price for this, because they may be able to secure themselves, but it's going to cost them tons of money. That is the return on their investments in bringing down the Twin Towers. And now we have a new president, not a new president. The President of the United States has been re-elected. But what is he saying about the attack by Israel on Gaza? He says that it is to secure Israel. To secure, for the security of Israel, Israel must attack Gaza. What about the security of the Gazans, the Palestinians? Don't they count at all? They are human beings. They have a right to be secure. When somebody establishes or carries out a blockade, starving them, preventing them from getting medicine, preventing them from repairing their water system, what are they going to do when the world just goes on and does nothing? So they try to fight back in their own way. They fire some harmless rocket. I won't say harmless rocket, because these are not the kind of rockets invented by the great military power of the world. This may be like our firecrackers. I'm told that to show that 3 Israelis were killed, that the rockets had done damage to Tel Aviv. So, if one evidence, there are plenty of evidence, but the evidence is overwhelmingly shows that it is Israel which is the terrorist. Israel is a terrorist state. It is a terrorist state because it terrifies all the countries surrounding. Nobody is safe. Israel sends bombers to destroy Iraqi facilities long before the shock and awe war. Israel has attacked the Egyptian air base before they launched their attack against the Arab countries. Israel believes that it has a right to preemptive strike. I would like to say that the puny rockets that were fired by the Hamas at Tel Aviv, these are their preemptive act against Israel. They have to destroy Israel in order to secure themselves. The evidence shows that it is Israel which is undermining the security of people and not the other way around. And when the people in the countries around Israel are insecure, they have a right to take preemptive attack against Israel. Remember that the Middle East was not like this 60 years ago. The creation of Israel is what has launched this continuous 60 years of war, of a lack of peace in that region. And the people who created Israel, they are to blame. They and their descendants, for their descendants, are also carrying out this dastardly act. We in Malaysia, we have no capacity to send a military force to attack Israel. We could do that in Bosnia because at least the Serbs were not supplied with arms by NATO. But we cannot do this in Israel because if you attack Israel, you will want to call on yourself the whole might of the United States and of United Kingdom. They are united only in killing people. We cannot do that, but we can do something. Maybe it is a small thing, but we can help the people of Gaza with medicine, with food, with construction material, so that they can rebuild their houses and live in a decent shelter. At the moment they are living in broken down houses, in tents, exposed to the cold of winter. We in Malaysia don't understand how cold can be. But believe me, it is very, very cold when it is winter in Palestine. Let Israel mean to kill as many Palestinians as possible, not just by bombing them, rocketing them, but also by starving them and preventing medicine from reaching them. This is the Israeli strategy. It is a preemptive attack that has gone on for years and years. But we can at least donate something to help the people of Gaza. We are gathered here today because have with us a boy whose whole family was of 29 was wiped out by one Israeli attack. Whole family. They are not soldiers, they are not combatants, they are ordinary people, men, women, and children. All the members of this family were killed in front of his eyes. For that, we sympathize with them. It is only human to sympathize with people in such dire straits. So, I believe that Malaysians are very humane, very human, and therefore they will contribute generously to the fund that we are launching today to help people who are far, far more unfortunate than the few unfortunate people in Malaysia. So I thank you for your attendance. I hope that the press will give full publicity to this occasion and to the reasons why the Palestinians have tried to defend themselves in the only way they can, with the only weapons they have. They don't have the planes, the big guns, the warships, etc. But they do have some simple rockets, and that is all they can do, knowing full well that in return, the Israelis will kill hundreds of people. At the moment, it's more than 100, but it is going on, as we talk here, it is going on, and it will go on. For as long as Israel is not condemned, for as long as Israel occupies settlements in Palestinian land, this is going to go on. So, your presence is well appreciated, your generous